You Are of Pure Stock, by Preston, June 4, 2020. After midnight this morning I had an interaction with Archangel Michael. It really was an extraordinary one after I called to my I Am presence, and by the time I was halfway into the invocation for the tube of light after going to bed, I felt what I call flashes. It's described in one of my videos on Archangel Michael's sort of blue flame. It's like an electric discharge that is very pleasant. It is him signaling to me that he is there sometime if my mind is busy. I acknowledged his presence and focused on him, not letting any thoughts interrupt the focus. He started irradiating me with light, love, and healing, and I could feel it being sent to my heart chakra, then expanding. He said, "I am you twin," meaning the twin of my higher self. We have an understanding and some codes. They are used in the realm of telepathic communication. For instance, I am also his daughter, but that refers to another concept, one relating to the creation of the soul by an archangel, or angel of the presence, with the I Am presence, though the latter is the father and mother figure and Elohim. This is about the soul as created upon the etheric realm with a dual polarity, each side of which incarnate today in separate bodies, male or female. The yin always incarnates in the polarity, character, or gender that reflects the nature and image of its higher self, also one side of the archangel or higher being that is endowed with a dual polarity. The same for the yan. The archangels have consolidated their nature, image, or character which are reflected in the gender on the earthly realm, a very long time ago. As a whole, these angelic presences are supernatural hermaphrodites, but can act separately. For instance, Archangel Michael's divine complement is Archaea faith. That's according to the spiritual tradition. Each polarity of the archangel is called a divine complement. Each one reflects the polarity, image, and nature of either the father or the mother in the I Am presence, or Elohim. So for instance, Archangel Michael will always be a reflection of the father in the I Am. He is his emissary. That will never change. He will never reflect the mother in the I Am presence. We reflect the nature and image of our higher selves, and that is why Genesis states that man was created in God's image. One or two channelers have desecrated this permanence during the last decade or so, because it was fashionable in human affairs to change sex. They have, for instance, claimed that Archangel Gabriel changed over to Gabriel, in name and appearance, as if they were ignorant that the name for this archangel's divine complement is hope. This must have been a misconception on their part, inspired from an impersonation by some dubious beings pretending to be of the light, carried out to mislead the audience. One of them has written the name of Saint Germain with an E to make him look feminine, as if he had changed sex in this era of people rebelling against the gender they have been born with, and medical surgeons tampering with the physical body, cutting organs off, just like it was practiced in antiquity from some diabolic misinterpretations, that demanded the eunuchs be castrated. Yet Saint Germain was well known in France as the Count of Saint Germain, and this name does not have an E despite its pronunciation in English. Another false concept in circulation is where New Age tells you your DNA was upgraded by some aliens, and they show an illustration of a gray with slanted eyes. They belong to a deception in the realm of ufology, as they are the product of genetic engineering by human hands with secret technology. And this was for a deception which is still to be exposed on a larger scale than Dr. Stephen Greer has so far. Some sources will tell you that you have reptilian DNA in you. Even Obama could not resist mentioning it on a show years ago. It's false. It's to defile the sons and daughters of God. The pattern always is that they attempt to elevate the dark and degrade their opponents of the light. The ancient records, such as the Tibetan Book of Dzyan, spelled Dzyan, in case this is read by a voice on a video, states that the present humanity was born of a pure stock after the purification by a flood of water was unleashed upon mankind. It was the Master Jwelkul who dictated its content to H.P. Blavatsky, the latter having been the recipient of a first dispensation of teachings, as I have explained it in my book From the Words of Angels and Ancient Book of Jaka, published in 2012. The second dispensation was that through Alice Bailey, and the third was the Summit Lighthouse. This information also is present in my video A Magical Tool Story. The cataclysm by water was the one unleashed upon mankind about 12,000 years ago following the downfall and corruption of the Atlantean civilization. This happened by karmic retribution rather than divine will. There is a cosmic law that operates independently of the divine will and which the dark forces are expert at dodging. However, the Book of Enoch informs us that it was as part of a judgment, the first phase of which was the flood. Archangel Michael was instructed to bind the fallen one's demonic selves for not saying souls in the bottomless pits, the astral levels of lower dimensions. Some cataclysms which were brought about by karmic retribution had caused the end of the Atlantean civilization and annihilated the genetic abominations of the days, and even as Genesis informs us, there were survivors and they were selected for their righteousness. You will find this in the flood story with Noah, who was said to have been the only righteous man left in those days. The fifth root race had been created by the initiators and progenitors that attempted to instruct the fourth root race, the Atlantean one, about the path of ascension. These initiators had a perfect nature like Adam and for this reason were referred to as the sons of God, or of the gods. See the video Fallen Angels, Far-Fetched or Self-Born, as well as No Angel Fell. The situation got so bad in those days that the project of ascension had to be aborted. The present humanity was born of a pure stock and were further worked on by the archangels and ascended masters, as regards its DNA and chakras, from about the time of the exodus of the descendants of the lost tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh out of Egypt with Moses. The lie-bearers are sons and daughters of the god Elohim, and this is a term that is in the plural form. Scholars wonder why, and it's because it alludes to the father and mother aspects in the I Am Presence, who has declared to me that he is the creator of all universes. See my video with that sentence as a title. There is interconnectedness and oneness at the divine level. That is why all I Am Presences, the spirits within of the Gnostics, and Atman of the Upanishads, are one divine being. Don't believe these false teachers who are unwittingly spreading false notions according to a pattern by which you will note they want to undermine you, or demean the powers of the light.